From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina Navidad. Toronto Public Health is reporting its first laboratory-confirmed case of West Nile virus in a human this year. It says the person is an adult and was infected in Canada. The virus is transmitted to humans through infected mosquitoes. Canada's economy contracted by 0.1% in May. Statistics Canada's early estimates see economic growth flatlining in the second quarter of the year. TD Bank economist Mark Ercoleo says until Canada can strike a deal with the U.S., the forecast won't get much better.
But as long as there is this lingering uncertainty, it's going to impact economic activity across industries, it's going to impact investment decision making, and that would probably lead to another weaker Q3.
And on the topic of tariffs, the White House press secretary says there's still time for countries to negotiate a new trade deal with the U.S. ahead of the looming deadline.
The trade team has been working around the clock to try to be in correspondence with as many countries as possible, but if they haven't heard from us yet, they will in the form of a letter or an executive order by midnight tonight.
But U.S. President Donald Trump says it'll be very hard to make a deal with Canada after Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Ottawa intends to recognize a Palestinian state in September. Trump did, however, give a 90-day deadline delay to Mexico, a country that already recognizes a Palestinian state. Canadian aid is being airdropped into the Gaza Strip after Israel loosened its restrictions on food and medicine reaching the Palestinian territory. Canadian press reporter Naira Ahmed has more.
It comes in response to international outcry over starvation in Gaza after hundreds were shot dead at Israeli-run aid sites. Ottawa and Canadian charities urged Israel to allow truckloads of aid into Gaza to be distributed through the United Nations.
The head of UNRWA aid agency says airdrops will not reverse the deepening starvation. Canada and several of its NATO allies are condemning what they describe as a growing number of state threats from Iranian intelligence services. Their joint statement says the countries are united in their opposition of attempts to, quote, kill, kidnap, and harass people in North America and Europe. And now in entertainment. Days after the duo dined together, Justin Trudeau has been spotted in the crowd at Katy Perry's concert in Montreal.
The appearance continues to fuel the speculation about a possible relationship between the former prime minister and the U.S. pop star. They had dinner Monday at a Plateau restaurant, and last night's sighting has taken over social media. Katy Perry recently split from her longtime partner, actor Orlando Bloom, and she's in the middle of a Canadian leg for her Lifetimes tour. Justin Trudeau separated from his ex-wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, in 2023. He resigned as prime minister earlier this year. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, it's shaping up to be the summer of summer once again. This time, it's at the World Swimming Championships in Singapore. Canadian press reporter Naira Ahmed has details.
Canadian swimmer Summer McIntosh has claimed her third gold medal at the meet, this time in the women's 200-meter butterfly. The 18-year-old from Toronto set a meet record time just shy of the world record.
McIntosh is aiming for 5 individual titles at the 8-day competition, a feat only U.S. great Michael Phelps has achieved at a single world championship. The Toronto Blue Jays have swung a deal on Major League Baseball's trade deadline day. The American League East leaders get right-handed pitcher Shane Bieber from the Cleveland Guardians. In CFL action tonight, the Ottawa Redblacks take on the Calgary Stampeders. Tomorrow, the Toronto Argonauts will face the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And the CFL has fined Saskatchewan defensive back Tavon Campbell for a high hit on the Edmonton Elks quarterback. From the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina Navidad.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.